Hello everyone and welcome to another Randomised Gaming's weekday stream. I am of course your host for this Randomised Gaming stream, Random Gamer Riven. And in tonight's stream we're going to be looking at the PS1 version of Diablo. Now I have previously covered a non-commentated video of it, which is quite nice, so I thought, I'll actually give it a run and see how far I get, or maybe a couple of runs, as I'm not actually going to be saving. And hello to SSGSS4. I am MaccabeeFU. Welcome to the stream. Very much appreciated to see you all. Yeah, we have an absolute classic tonight with Diablo. This is the PS1 version. I could have set up the PC version, but the PC version's a bit fiddlier setting to stream, so I thought I'd do the PS1 version. Plus, the PS1 one has got a few interesting changes. I think the biggest interesting change in the PS1 version, I should say, it was released on the PlayStation 1, was that it is two-player split screen on the same console. And little fact, this is a wish for Saturn fans, because if you're a Sega Saturn fan like me, you may not know this, but Diablo was initially planned to be released on the Sega Saturn. Sadly, however, it fell in a time when EA were pulling out of publishing, so EA actually published, and Climax Studio or Software did the I think it's Climax. Climax in the UK did the actual port, and it was published by EA. I think they had in association. It's actually got the manual in association with Blizzard Entertainment. So Blizzard didn't actually do this port, hence why it's not included on any of their sort of retro collections. And it was left up to EA, who did the rights. I assume Blizzard just got the royalties. And they did World of Warcraft on the PS1 and Sega Saturn, but by the time Diablo came around, it was too late for them to do. Yeah, we're all here Sega Saturn fans on the channel, but yes, I'm not sure how far they got in development on the Saturn's version. I would like to know. It was announced in a press conference. I know in the start of '98, EA cancelled all outstanding projects, so this was likely one of them cancelled, assuming it got this one. So one of the things with this one is you can actually read the lore.
Since the beginning, the forces of light and darkness have engaged in an eternal war, the great conflict, whose victor will rise from the apocalyptic ashes to hold sway over all creation. To this end, the angels of the high heavens adhere to strict militaristic disciplines. Seraphim warriors strike at the enemies of light with swords imbued with righteous wrath and justice. The angels believe that only absolute discipline can properly restore order to the myriad realms, while the demonic denizens of the burning hells hold that absolute chaos is the true nature of all things. The battles of the great conflict rage across both time and space, often infringing upon the very fabric of reality itself. From the crystal arch at the very heart of the high heavens to the arcane hell forge of the underworld, the warriors of these eternal realms journey to wherever their timeless conflict carries them. The legendary deeds of the heroes of the realms beyond elicit both veneration and insight. The greatest of these heroes was Iswal, lieutenant to the archangel Tyrael, and bearer of the angelic rune blade Azurath. He once led a fierce attack upon the Hellforge as the creation of the dark demon blade Shadowfang was nearing completion. His quest was to destroy both wielder and weapon, a charge that he was destined never to complete. Iswal was overcome by the legions of chaos, and tragically was lost to the darkness. His fate stands as testament to the fact that angels and demons alike shall fearlessly enter into any domain, so long as their hated enemies dwell within. Although the great conflict burned hotter and longer than any of the stars in the sky, neither side could gain dominion over the other for long. Both factions sought some way to turn the tides of the war to their favor. With the ascension of man and his mortal realm, the great conflict ground to a mysterious halt. Both armies paused in a breathless stalemate, waiting to see to whose side man would eventually turn. Mortals had the unique ability to choose between darkness and light, and it was held that this would be the deciding factor in the outcome of the great conflict. Thus, the agents of the nether realms descended to the mortal realm to vie for the favor of man.
So yes, these I think these texts are actually in the original Diablo, but in the PS1 version, they're all in a nice sort of history section. I'm not going to go through them all. That one actually took about 5 minutes, I think. But it gives you a background on the whole sort of conflict between the forces of good and evil. So I'm going to basically... I'm not going to actually save it as I'm playing this on the PlayStation 2. So as a result of that, I am going to... basically see how far I get. If I die, I'll start again with a different character. So does anyone have any particular preferences to which character you'd like to see me play as first off? We have the warrior, we have the rogue, and we have the sorcerer. They each have slightly different abilities. The warrior, often people go for the warrior, but he's not really the easiest one. Actually, the rogue is generally regarded as the easier character. And the sorcerer is probably the trickiest one. Hellfire added in the monk expansion. I haven't actually done Hellfire. It was alright. Although I did think Diablo actually needed Hellfire, so any character. Okay, I'll pick Rogue then, seeing as I don't often do the Rogue. I tend to do the Warrior more. And what shall we call her? Oh, what's the name? Oh, I can't think of the character's name that they give her in Diablo 2. So all the characters... let me just see. Let's see what the actual canon name is. Here we go, canonically. I've been given Aiden Jezareth. Is it Jezareth or Jezareth is okay. I think it's Moriana. Bloodraven Moriana. So the canon character name as seen in Diablo 2 is Moriana for this one. You basically, all the characters from Diablo 1 have quite a grim fate, so to speak. Although it's not properly explained, but actually watching a video today, I saw that basically Diablo 1's ending is not what they actually planned. All the characters were supposed to actually get killed in Diablo 1. M-O-R-E-I. But they basically were given an intro, and then they had to stick with the intro they were given rather than actually choose. So yeah, you can do different difficulties, but I don't think I can actually select them. Basically, because this is a rogue game, you're meant to clear normal, then go through nightmare, and then go through hell difficulty. And basically, like Phantasy Star, each difficulty rewards you better and better weapons. So you can't really start at the beginning anyway, as else you'll get absolutely taken to pieces. Oh yeah, I remember playing this when it originally came out a little while afterwards, and it was a fantastic game. Looked great, played great. We were playing it around with friends on PC. I have to confess, I never actually got this myself. Some years after. Okay, I might just stretch the screen a little bit for you guys. Oh no. So it's a bit fuller, so to speak. I'm actually playing the European version, so... Right, let me just familiar myself with the controls again. Control setup. Just trying to work out what I did when I played through this. I think it was the advanced default. Yeah. Advanced default movement. Absolute. So the game has a slightly weird combat system. It's actually turn-based, but they made it live action at the last minute. So it ended up still being turn-based, but it's just much faster turn-based combat. Remember. So you restore health, restore mana, combo button, activate spellbook. Apologies, it has been a while. I played this through on PC. I've got a little like cast spell, belt items, attack, talk, open chest, navigate. Okie dokie. It's a handy thing of actually having the game and the manual. So yes, in case you're wondering, I am playing this live on the PS1. I'm literally just using the case to keep the manual from flipping closed. Now, let's find out what quest. So one of the cool things about Diablo was the fact it is a randomly generated game. So the loot, it does sometimes work against you and for you. So sometimes you can get really good loot early on. Other times you might not get good loot at all. Other times you can also have instances where you'll get really good weaponry. Also, the quests you can do will change and variate. So there's a couple of quests I've got to keep an eye on straight out. There are two basic quests I'm going to wonder which one I'm going to get. There will either be a dying person near the church, or the fountain will likely be a strange colour, or I might have neither of them. Farnham the Drunken, yes.
Stand a fellow drinking peace?
Let's talk to Farnham.
I want to tell you something, because I know all about this stuff. It's my specialty. This here is the best. The best. That other ale ain't no good since those stupid dogs. I want to tell you something, because I know all about this stuff. It's my...
Yeah, so all I can do is talk to Farnham the Drunkard. Is not very helpful most of the time. There is a reason for his behaviour. Ew. I didn't want to do that. I've just inadvertently used an item. How did I move through quick items? Use high inventory, character info, toggle belt items, R2 circle. Okay, just don't press circle when I'm on anything. So I think one of the buttons is, I think I have run as well, don't I? Ow.
I don't have a spell ready.
No, you don't. And I've just wasted 2 healing potions now. Farnham up. Yep. Oh, we've got the Poison Well quest.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Ah, that eternal dialogue of Cain.
Griswold, a man of great action and great courage. I bet he never told you about the time he went into the labyrinth to save Wirt, did he? He knows his fair share of the dangers to be found there. But then again, so do you. He is a skilled craftsman, and if he claims to be able to help you in any way, you can count on his honesty and his skill.
Okay, I appreciate the likes, everyone. And yes, it does. Thank you for that heads up, Nico. Yes, cheers for letting me know. That's because I did a copy and paste from yesterday. Appreciate that. Just change that. Okay, so the well is poisoned. That's not the colour it should be. But yeah, this is an iconic, absolutely iconic game. It really is a fantastic title.
Whoa, what can I do for you? If you're looking for a good weapon, let me show this to you. Take your basic blunt weapon, such as a mace. Works like a charm against most of those undying horrors down there. And there's nothing better to shatter skinny little skeletons.
So I will be taking a bit of a blind run. I'm not going to... I don't have a save in, so if I die, I'll just restart with a different character and see what quests we get and how I fare. So that way we get the true Diablo permadeath experience going.
My friend?
Let's talk to Pippin. He's the healer.
I really don't understand why Ogden stays here in Tristram. He suffers from a slight nervous condition, but he is an intelligent and industrious man who would do very well wherever he went. I suppose it may be the fear of the many murders that happen in the surrounding countryside, or perhaps the wishes of his wife that keep him and his family where they are.
Yes, it was. It was the Japanese version. They discovered literally like the part of the compiler or something left on it, wasn't it? For the...
Thank goodness you returned. Much has changed since you lived here, my friend. All was peaceful until the Dark Riders came and destroyed our village. Many were cut down where they stood, and those who took up arms were slain or dragged away to become slaves, or worse. The church at the edge of town has been desecrated and is being used for dark rituals. The screams that echo in the night are inhuman, but some of our townsfolk may yet survive. Follow the path that lies between my tavern and the blacksmith's shop to find the church and save who you can. Perhaps I can tell you more if we speak again. Good luck.
Sadly, if you play Diablo 2, you'll know what they decide to do to Tristan in the sequel, but I'll chat to all the villagers.
Good day. How may I serve you? I grew up with Wirt's mother, Canis. Although she was only slightly hurt when those hideous creatures stole him, she never recovered. I think she died of a broken heart. Wirt has become a mean-spirited youngster, looking only to profit from the sweat of others. I know that he suffered, and has seen horrors that I cannot even imagine. But some of that darkness hangs over him still.
Yeah, because Blizzard have been really bad at re-releasing Diablo, which is... I'm just going to check. I think run is on. Let me just can check. It's the original game speed, yeah, so I can actually adjust it fast. Moving around town, I'll set it to fast. I won't do in dungeons. So Wirt, the peg leg boy, is... I think he's over this side. But yeah, if you've never played Diablo, I still highly recommend it. You can get it on good old games. You can... I managed to actually install my old... I got a copy some years back. Managed to install and play it on Windows 97. And here's Wirt with his...
Over here.
Kane knows too much. He scares the life out of me. Even more than that woman across the river. He keeps telling me about how lucky I am to be alive, and how my story is foretold in legend. I think he's off his crock.
Little known fact, the voice actor for Wirt also is the voice actor for a Stull on Sega Saturn. Now sadly, although I'm playing the PAL version, this is one version I can't actually force into 60 Hz, it just completely breaks. I think Blizzard, because this was done by a UK studio, they properly optimised it, Climax. So I'm just going to talk to Ariana. Ariana's quite an interesting character. I don't like where they took the character in the third game. None of that made any sense, but then the third game wasn't done by the original developers, which was why it was. We've got the cows as well. It's in the field there. The one thing that hasn't quite mauled Tristan just yet, they do still have some cows. So here's Ariana. She's basically, so your shops are Wirt, the blacksmith, whose name has just suddenly escaped me, despite him, and Ariana the witch.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
You will often come to Ariana to help you.
The higher you place your faith in one man, the farther it has to fall. Farnham has lost his soul, but not to any demon. It was lost when he saw his fellow townspeople betrayed by the Archbishop Lazarus. He has knowledge to be gleaned, but you must separate fact from fantasy.
I actually recognise a few of the voice actors from this because they've gone on to do many other games, so... In fact, all of them have done some pretty other major stuff, so... I think most of them, I think all of them are still doing it. It's 20 odd years. Well, we're getting near to 20, yeah, about 25 years later. So let's see, have we got the butcher, as you mentioned? I'll just say I am Macbeth F.U. Yeah, we got the butcher and the poison well.
Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. He led us down here to find the lost prince. The bastard led us into a trap. Now everyone is dead, killed by a demon he called the Butcher. Avenge us! Find this butcher and slay him, so that our souls may finally rest.
Your death will be avenged.
And yes, he's perished.
I don't have a spell ready. Your death will be avenged.
So before I run in, having inadvertently used up my health potion, so R1, yeah. Character info. Quest log, the butcher. So I've got the
Please.
I've got the poison well quest as well. So the speech in this is actually really loud. How do I actually... There's lots of options in this. Just gonna see if I can... Trap disarm.
I don't have a spell ready.
You can only seem to bring up the inventory via... this one, so... And there's the equipment. Yeah, so the inventory is a little bit different. You've got the items there and you've got your equipment there. So she starts with a bow by default, so her character is literally doing range attacks. So I'll just chat to the other guys. Actually got a nice... I do like the fact you actually have reflections in the water, as you see there as I walk across. Some really subtle touches for a 1996 game. This is a 98 port.
I sense a soul insert. The Butcher is a sadistic creature that delights in the torture and pain of others. You have seen his handiwork in the drunkard Farnham. His destruction will do much to ensure the safety of this village.
Yeah, it must be Diablo 3. So, I really like the original Diablo. I think it's probably, of the first 3 games, I actually think it's the best. I appreciate lots of people really enjoy Diablo 2, but this is like a dark fantasy horror. And Diablo 2, I think, was a bit tamed down. Griswold, that's...
Whoa, what can I do for you?
You can talk to...
I saw what Farnham calls the Butcher, as it swathed a path through the bodies of my friends. He swung a cleaver as large as an axe, hewing limbs and cutting down brave men where they stood. I was separated from the fray by a host of small screeching demons, and somehow found the stairway leading out. I never saw that hideous beast again, but his blood-stained visage haunts me to this day.
So I will be honest, as a veteran of Diablo, it's quite nice to get the Butcher quest. If you're a beginner, it's not the best quest to get. The Butcher's actually by far the hardest of the early level quests in Diablo.
What ails you, my friend?
Talk to you. Basically, you'll come up here every time to heal.
By the light, I know this vile demon. There were many that bore the scars of his wrath upon their bodies when the few survivors of the charge led by Lazarus crawled from the cathedral. I don't know what he used to slice open his victims, but it could not have been of this world. It left wounds festering with disease, and even I found them almost impossible to treat. Beware if you plan to battle this fiend.
So yes, and the Butcher, it actually, if you don't get the Butcher quest, then you don't actually know why Farnham's gone mad. If you do, you will know why.
Tender fellow drinking peace?
The Butcher.
Big cleaver, killing all my friends. Couldn't stop him. Had to run away. Couldn't save them. Trapped in a room with so many bodies. So many friends. No!
So yes, poor Farnham. He's basically been driven insane by seeing what the Butcher did to his friend. Basically, the premise is the archpriest Lazarus has led loads of people down as like a sacrificing ceremony for Diablo and had them all cleaved apart. Now, interestingly, this there's a few sort of tomb bits that allow you to short access areas later on. A couple of them were added for the Hellfire expansion, but yeah, as you see, not a very welcoming church with the sort of red light eerily coming from it.
I don't have a spell.
One thing I'll do is actually change the speed. No, don't want to quit. I will say hi to Nico on stream and also hi to Conelia. I think I pronounced that correctly. Appreciate everyone being on the stream and very much appreciate the likes on the stream. We actually got lots of people who enjoy a bit of Diablo.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
Yes, the sanctity of this place has been fouled. So does that disarm the chest? Trapped chest? Okay, she's actually got quite good range, so... She's supposed to disarm that. Oh, I think it probably just tells you. So here we go with the weakening sort of ghouls and things. The thing with... Actually, I might keep the game speed on fast. This is probably closer to what Diablo 1 is on the... actual PC, so Scroll of Healing. And suffice to say, you will get pretty used to running back to the shopkeepers to sell all the awesome loot you've picked up, because you need all that gold. So inventory management is one inadvertent thing Diablo taught, I suspect, a lot of gamers. Oh, another bow. Just to see how I bring up this. You can bring up the map in this. Hopefully nothing sneaks up on me. Can I bring up the map, or is that one? View auto map R2 and L2. Generally when I do Diablo I have the map on these days. So that's the spell. So there we go with the map so I can see where I'm travelling. There's just something about the original Diablo that I think just has the edge over the later sequels. It's much more darker, moodier. It just feels that this church has been turned into something truly unholy, and there's just something about the very nature of sort of exploring what you've discovered. Because I think with the sequels is in the original you didn't know what was going to be in here, whereas the sequels are a bit more predictable. Oh, one of the things you always want to be careful opening doors. You can always get waylaid of enemies. This this PS1 version, I'm playing this PS1 game on the PS2 at the minute. Essence of life flows from within. Oh, that's one of the sarcophaguses. I think that's probably just healed me, which I probably didn't really want. Yeah, this game is very 90s. It's got a lot more, slightly more horror elements than the later games as well. It's just such a superb game. It really is. So I appreciate a lot of people will probably be enjoying this, literally getting a trip down memory lane tonight. No, I didn't mean to do that. Again, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. No. Don't press circle ribbon unless you need to. It is actually a very, very solid port. Yeah, the arch is actually the the rogue is actually the easiest character in the game. I remember a couple of people saying I always used to take the warrior thinking he was as well, but actually the warrior's really is quite a difficult time, especially towards the end, where literally you've got to try and literally basically like fight an enemy and run away. Did actually get a better. So that's a short bow, 1 to 4 damage. Got to keep durability. That's a short bow, saber. What I'm looking for at the minute is armor. I mean, literally everything out. So basically, you will have it as the game goes on. When you start getting absolutely. You never played Diablo. Ooh. Now, one of the best Diablo likes is Record of Lodos War on the Sega Dreamcast, and that's arguably better than Diablo 2. And a little bit of irony, Record of Lodos War actually released in Japan. So when Diablo 2 released in Europe and North America, Record of Lodos War was actually releasing in Japan on the same day, which is really interesting because Record of Lodos War is an absolutely fantastic game on Dreamcast. It's one of the best sort of Diablo style clones, and arguably it's a better game than Diablo 2 when it came out. I still haven't actually finished it on Dreamcast either. But yes, the rogue is definitely the safest bet because you just keep pretty much everything at range. Admittedly, this game can be, because of the random nature of it, the game can mess you up. It can literally, I've had runs where you literally don't get any decent equipment for absolute ages, and then you can get royally screwed. And I actually found having Hellfire was really beneficial for Diablo, because Diablo, there's only actually a set number of enemies in game. So once you've killed every enemy, that's your lot, so you get no more experience. And often you can be like quite a few levels down when you get to the final boss. Yeah, they should have done. I think if Blizzard had done that, they could have well had an absolute storm on the Dreamcast. Because they would have then basically had a console version of Diablo, and they might have been able to then work with the developers to keep doing the sequels. And they'd had a bigger Japanese standing as well. I mean, Diablo is actually quite a popular game in Japan. Phantasy Star Online is basically a homage to Diablo. And that in turn then was homaged by various other companies afterwards. So there's always an interesting development cycle. I think they said there were quite a few games that inspired Diablo. I think, as I mentioned, strangely, bits of Dark Forces was mentioned somehow. So I'm just destroying all the barrels. But yeah, you do want to keep inventory. Just keep an eye on your inventory. So this thing, you'll quickly find your inventory fills up. Oh, I've got some magical maces. Word of warning, never ever equipped a item you haven't. Oh, I've got a scroll of identity. Let's use it. No, I want to. How do I actually use these items in them? Oh, it's a triangle. Okay, so ideally your Mace of Dystera, so -2 to magic, so that's not that good. Early on, actually getting your yeah, they did Netherlands. If you've never played Recon of Lodos War on Dreamcast, I highly recommend it. If you're a Diablo fan, try and track down a copy of that on Dreamcast. I highly recommend it. Ironically, the Shining Force games they did, so they did Shining, they did Shining Exa, which is what it should have been called. It's actually called Shining Force Exa.
I don't have a spell ready.
Can use spellbooks from there as well. Yeah, Shining Neo X. Thank you, Nico. I couldn't suddenly remember Neo's name. Oh, I'm getting to that age. Things I could used to remember instantly able to recall. It's like, oh. Or maybe it's just a spur of the moment thing. I'm not that old just yet. Lots of grim sound effects in the background as the hair, basically meant to signify people like sort of going insane and mad. The gameplay in this, as I said, is slightly odd. It's supposed to be real time, and they basically designed it as a turn-based game and then made it real time at the last minute. So it's not really real time, it's just a turn-based game sped up. Because basically, apparently, the main developer, is it David Brickson? It's David something. Basically, he didn't want to originally do it real time. He said only at the end. The others kept pausing, suggesting he did it. So he finally sped it up one evening and realised actually this does work. And it probably did benefit from it, I will admit. This being turn-based, I think would have been very slow and sluggish. This first floor is very much an introduction for what will come later, and trust me when I say that. The later floors are much more unforgiving. But the fact the rogue can battle enemies at range is... So you can... Using the advanced controls gives you better controls over... Yeah.
I have no room.
Staff of firebolts. Is my inventory filled up already? Okay, so I need to do some inventory management, so... I can't even manage it very well. I literally have no room because all of these slots...
I can't carry anymore.
Fallen one resistant to magic. Yeah, the sorcerer's the hardest. The rogues I think is probably the easiest, and the warrior is intermediate. Yes, I can level. Thank you for reminding me, Nico. Now, the question is, how do I actually character information? Here we go. So, distribute 5 points. So, what I usually do... So, I'm actually going to add one to everything, and then add a second one to strength for damage. I kept wondering why the Ankh was flashing. I thought it was some perk. I know you're right there, Nico. It's level up. It's been a while since I played this, I will admit. I have finished this on PC version. I did a full playthrough. Oddly enough, I only finished it about 3 or 4 years back for the first time properly. Because I'd never owned a copy. I just eventually got one. Thought, right, I'm finally going to sit. And once I got it, I still didn't quite get round to playing it. So about a year back, I managed to get Hellfire. Or a couple of years back, about 3 years back, I got Hellfire. I still haven't actually finished Diablo 2 for the first time, though. I started it after finishing Diablo 1. I actually got a bit bored of Diablo 2. Maybe I should carry back on with it. Saying it had a zombie here, zombie immune to magic. I think I've got most of the floor now, so there's the... Oh, this is one of those floors that the exit was right next to the stairs going down. You do sometimes get that. I saw a speedrun guide where someone had obviously fiddled with it, so every floor was doing that. Normally... the exit is not directly next to the... It can happen because the game is randomly generated. Every time you play, the floors are completely different. So you can play this 100 times and get the floors in very different... Slayton Towns, the floors in very different orders. So do keep that in mind every time you play. Oh yes, if the arrows weren't unlimited, you would be very stuck in this. I should actually just speak to Pippin and get healed up in case I need it. I don't think I need it, but...
I'm glad I caught up to you in time. Our wells have become brackish and stagnant, and some of the townspeople have become ill drinking from them. Our reserves of fresh water are quickly running dry. I believe that there is a passage that leads to the springs that serve our town. Please find what has caused this calamity, or we all will surely perish.
Yes, so despite the fact you could see the well was poisoned from the get-go, there's actually a bug where you have to go into the thing and come back before they'll actually tell you about the poisoned water. But as I said before,
Hello,
the minute it was yellow, I knew
Stay
it
a
was
while and
poisoned.
listen.
So he talked to him about the butcher and the poisoned.
I don't know what I can really tell you about this that will be of any help. The water that fills our wells comes from an underground spring. I have heard of a tunnel that leads to a great lake. Perhaps they are one and the same. Unfortunately, I do not know what would cause our water supply to be tainted.
I do. Basically, you'll find an area, you'll have an additional area with a load of cobalts you've got to kill and bump off. So I think identification is actually quite expensive at this point. And I don't think, I'm just going to see, I'll identify it. But because she's not a close combat character, I don't, so I've got -2 to magic, so the Mace of Dyslexia, yeah, that's not actually a very good name. Then I think the names are all random. The stats are random for everything in the game. Can she actually equip? Shall just put. I'm just debating whether I want a decent close combat weapon for her. 1 to 8, 1 to 6, short bow 1 to 4. Just actually going to repair my equipment as well.
Oh, what can I do for you?
Always keep your equipment repaired and up to date. Short bow. That's my main one. Actually sell items. I'll just confirm. So my short bow currently has durability 16, that's 18, and that's 15. So I don't want to sell one that says durability 16. I'll get that repaired.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
So I'll get rid of this require strength 70, the saber. Mace of dexterity I'll keep. I'll get rid of the other short bow. I don't need a second one. There's no special attribute, so there's not much point in me keeping it. Same the other one. I'll just basically, unfortunately, because they're not repaired, you won't get much from these items. Yep, this negative mace as well gives me next to nothing. So the mace of dexterity is worth 200. The dagger we'll get rid of. The club I'll get rid of. Buy basic items. Cloak. So I'm actually gonna. I don't have any armor present, so I'm gonna buy. So I'll buy the 10 to 200. Because that's only the one up. Strength 20, dexterity 35. I don't think I can use the hunter bow just yet. Yeah, I need slightly more. I think I'm lacking dexterity on that one. Yeah. I'll work to get to the hunter bow. I think in the meantime I'm going to buy some quilted armor, and I'll buy this one. It does sell very expensive premium items early on. You just can't afford to buy a lot of this stuff. So yeah, my AC goes from 6 to 16, so that hugely helps reduce any damage on me. I think I can buy potions from
What ails you, my friend?
Potion of full healing, potion of rejuvenation. Okay, I've got one potion of healing. I think I'm okay for now. Just talk to...
Whoa, what can I do for you? Pippin has told you the truth. We will need fresh water badly, and soon. I've tried to clear one of the smaller wells, but it reeks of stagnant filth. It must be getting clogged at the source.
Yeah, it's still... I mean, I think the control setup could have probably been slightly better.
Greetings, good master.
It's
Welcome to the
decent, but I
Tavern
don't
of the
think it's as
Rising
good as it
Sun.
could have been. They could have used start. So start's weirdly just paused. Start should have brought up your inventory and paused it. Select should have brought up the menu with all the various things in. Because I'll be honest, you don't actually need a pause button. If this pauses it as well, why do you need the two? All you do is for a design purpose, you don't, because start pauses it, you should have just had a pause icon up on the top of the screen there that said pause and had start as access to the inventory. So that's a slightly weird issue. Just check I can't actually set that up in the controls. Oh, R2 and squares inventory, that's how. Belt item. Menu is R2 and circle, R2 and squared, okay. And R2 and X is... because me not properly reading the... yeah, so you can... so we can go... Yep, so I need 4 dexterity, so I'll put more points in dexterity to get the hunter bow.
Good day. How may I serve? When Farnham said something about a butcher killing people, I immediately discounted it. But since you brought it up, maybe it is true. My grandmother is very weak, and Garda says that we cannot drink the water from the wells. Please, can you do something to help us?
Yeah, no, I thought you meant about the menus. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you're right, people with patience. But the thing is with this is the enemies don't respawn, so unless, I suppose it's designed for people who start over again, because sometimes you can restart. There's effectively a constant New Game Plus service in this, so...
Yes, Farnham has mumbled something about a hulking brute who wielded a fierce weapon. I believe he called him a butcher. I have always tried to keep a large supply of foodstuffs and drink in our storage cellar, but with the entire town having no source of fresh water, even our stores will soon run dry. Please, do what you can, or I don't know what we will do.
Let's quickly talk to Wirt, the peg leg boy. We can find out how he lost his leg down below as well. Because each quest has its own set of... One of the cool things about this game is the fact each quest you get all the gossip and the lore, which builds up, but you won't see that on every single playthrough because you can't trigger every quest unless you deliberately mod the game to summon them all. So basically, there's like a set number of quests at each level and only certain numbers will trigger each game.
Over here. I know more than you think about that grisly fiend. His little friends got a hold of me and managed to get my leg before Griswold pulled me out of that hole. I'll put it bluntly. Kill him before he kills you and adds your corpse to his collection. For once, I'm with you. My business runs dry, so to speak, if I have no market to sell to. You better find out what is going on, and soon.
Just Work the pedo boy. Work is an interesting character because he can sell random items, but you have no idea what he's going to sell till you chat to him. And sometimes he can sell really good items, but sometimes that 50 gold can literally be wasted on being told, oh hey, here's this really rubbish item. I think towards the end of his game, all his gear is actually not very good, so let's quickly head back over to Ariana. Then I'll brave the dungeon once again.
I sense a soul in search
So
of
she's our magic
answers.
supplier. Oh no, that's the butcher is a sadistic creature.
The people of Tristram will die if you cannot restore fresh water to their wells. Know this. Demons are at the heart of this matter, but they remain ignorant of what they have spawned.
I mean, if you haven't played Diablo from like back in the day or even recently, it's still a great game. Instead, it is available. I think currently only Good Old Games has it available to buy at present. So if you want to grab it, you can grab it via that website. Unless you want to grab the old PS1 version. Yeah, the dialogue's fantastic in this. It really is good, and it does actually progress as you go through. Basically, the game's technically broken down into chapters. Once you go deep enough, you don't need to access the church anymore. You can access like additional pits and entrances will open up. Hopefully, we'll see how far I can get. I hopefully get down a few floors. So I think I was just going to loot what's left of this place, like a good Diablo player would. Loot everything you find. I also want to check. I think the poison well will be on the next floor, in order to fix it. But I want to keep an eye out, check it's not on this one. Basically, there'll be an additional cave area we can enter, and we need to defeat all the villains. Oh, if you've got an XP laptop, that's the perfect one to do it on. The game itself is next to nothing to buy if you've got you grab a disc copy. I mean, if you want to grab a disc copy, the downside of grabbing a disc copy is getting a hold of Hellfire legitimately is very, very difficult. Getting how would I say, unofficial copies of it is quite easy, however, so I will say no more. The game is long. Hellfire's long out of print, and only basically for the disc version. Since it's been released on Good Old Games, Hellfire's now really easy to get. But if you buy the disc version of Diablo and still want to play Hellfire, the expansion, it can be quite tricky. Hellfire is not included in this version because Blizzard slightly frown upon Hellfire. I can understand why. Blizzard didn't actually do Hellfire. Basically, Diablo sold so well, the publisher at the time, Syria, took it upon themselves to release an expansion, but it was done by a separate developer. It was not done by Blizzard. Yes, the expansion's called Hellfire. And it was only recently added to Good Old Games, but you can... Initially, I think Hellfire was free. I think Hellfire's thrown in for free. Oh, there's still some barrels there. But yes, the expansion to Diablo was called Hellfire, but it's not an official Diablo. It's not an official Blizzard expansion, so Blizzard are not basically do frown upon it. It's a bit like StarCraft. There's actually 2 unofficial StarCraft expansions as well that you rarely see. They really did. They weren't made by Blizzard. They're not very good. Hellfire is actually very, very good. I really enjoyed Hellfire. The quality of Hellfire all credit to the developers that did it. I appreciate Blizzard weren't happy with it, but it's actually quite enjoyable. Okay, I think I've got everything I can do on this floor, so I will brave the next level of this cursed place, the sanctity of this place. I do love the opening line which says the sanctity, this place has been fouled. Yes, if you buy, I believe Good Old Games comes with Hellfire by default, but if you want to grab a cheap disc copy, getting hold of Hellfire retail might be quite difficult, but there are unofficial methods to get it as always. Let us brave the depths. But the PS1 port's actually really very good. Very, very good expansion. The port of it, I should say. Getting to my words tied up and tongue twisted. But yes, it's a very good port. This is actually a really solid port. I really wish this had actually been released on Sega Saturn. As I mentioned at the start, this was due to actually appear on Sega Saturn. EA did announce it because they said it was done by Climax and EA published it under license from Blizzard. And they did announce it for Sega Saturn, but sadly EA closed up the Saturn. I don't know how far the Saturn version got in development. I have a suspicion it wasn't very far at all. I doubt very much it was even started, but you never know. Wow, I'm having a really... If I was speedrunning this would be a really... That's down to level 3 already. That is rare to get. Have 2 floors right by the exit. The Butcher will be on level 3 most likely as well. The Butcher's actually a much harder quest, so you do want to be a bit careful. In fact, if you're an inexperienced player, it's actually advisable to avoid the Butcher until you get a few levels and then go for him. Yeah, I think it's the other Climax and Nyko. It's the UK one, not the Japanese one, sadly. I actually worked with their racing studio, Climax Racing, who I believe were initially a spin-off of the UK division. I actually worked with them on Pure and Split Second, and Pure was a fantastic game. Split Second was okay, but Pure on Xbox 360 was a really, really good game. Split Second was alright. I actually have another level up, so is it R2 and square? No, that was R2, no. Okay, so we're going to add another one. Strength, magic, dexterity, vitality. I'm going to pump a second one as dexterity. I'm going to actually probably put a magic up to 18 next time, but concentrate on bumping up dexterity next level up. So I can use the next bow up. But yeah, the ambience in this game is just fantastic. It's just so dark and moody. It just sums up with the fact you just hear screaming in the distance. You have no idea where it's coming from. I mean, Blizzard, this is one of those games that Blizzard just got absolutely everything right. And it's Blizzard North as well. I think the third game was quite a bad misstep in many areas. And the second game I know is loved by many, but I just don't think it quite had the atmosphere. It doesn't have the tension. This has a tension, a creepiness. Something that I don't think Blizzard can currently replicate, not with their current designers. But if they ever want someone who likes passionate games, they're always welcome to chat to me. But yeah, this is something that I think Diablo 2 didn't quite capture the darkness of Diablo 1. and the story starts getting a bit silly. The ending of Diablo 1, as I said, is just actually a bit bonkers. It probably would have been better if all the characters had actually just been, you got to the ending and just got wiped out, or you defeated Diablo, but he took you all with you. But inadvertently, they said that the weird CG cinematic set it up for a sequel. Ooh, skull caps. So that should be a piece of armour. Oh, I didn't sell one of those short bows, did I? Ah, that's it. Or did I pick that up? So that's 3 additional armour. Visually, this PS1 version does run at a lower resolution than the PC version, so it doesn't look quite as good, but it's not missing too much. The original PC game was solid. I'd say visually, I mean, I suppose for 96 it was quite good, but it was at a point in time where the visuals were rapidly increasing, so it was well surpassed by 97 and 98. Oh, I've got a named enemy, Packrat the Unclean. You do sometimes get them from time to time, so it's quite cool. As I said, the game is completely random, so each time you play it, you will encounter lots of different things. So yeah, she is really agile. I want to actually avoid him standing next to me so he's... Some magic resistance. Yeah, so this is how you fight the butcher as well. And there we go, got him now. Is he going to drop something? He's dropping the falcon, so he's dropped a special sword. Yes! It's been a while since I played the start of that. That was quite an interesting game, Sadeki. It didn't quite come to fruition, but I think they could have done something really interesting there. But I think that was the problem. A lot of the early games on Xbox didn't quite go the way they should have done. Because it had a weird sort of anime style. It isn't a bad RPG. I've never actually played through it. I only did the start. There are quite a few games on Xbox I really need to sit down and actually cover more. I also need to get myself a modded... I actually need to get myself a modded Xbox so I can play the... Modded PAL Xbox so I can play the games at progressive scan. The only plus thing with the exits being close together, it means that... I didn't think it was that late on the Xbox Decky. I thought Doom 3 was like one of the really late games on the Xbox. Was it that late? I didn't... but then... I'll be honest, I didn't actually get my Xbox till... I didn't actually get an Xbox till about 2004, not long before the 360 came out. Okay, so level up, strength, right. I can put 1 in magic. I'll put 2. Right, so that allows me to get the enhanced bow next time I'm up. So do play to your character's strengths and weaknesses. So At the same time, don't neglect any... I suppose unless you want to kind of neglect magic with the warrior. But even I tend to like having a degree of magic. Because it's quite handy. Especially in like Dark Souls, a lot of times they don't expect a warrior class to suddenly pull out a spell out of nowhere. I've got a Crystal Xbox. I don't recall there being a sound issue, but I'll keep that in mind. I know,
I have no room.
Cloak, and I've got no room again. I'll tell you one game that did have a really bad sound bug on the PS4 is it Clash of the Titan? 20-something hours tops. Yeah, a few of the shorter RPGs. Oh, Huntress bows, not identified. Okay, people, that's a nice little bow, so I don't need to... But I'm not going to be able to get anything... I want that cloak as well.
I can't carry any more.
Okay, I'll come back. I can't actually put a waypoint on the thing at the minute. So I will run down. Hope everyone's enjoying the stream. It is nice to actually... Diablo 1 really is just an iconic game. It's still such a timeless classic as well. And it really annoys me the fact that Blizzard have kind of dumped it. I think it's more a personal choice of current staff members at Blizzard rather than the sort of classic people who originally worked at Blizzard. The fact they never reissued this on the newer systems, the fact you can't buy Diablo 1 on the PS4, on the Xbox One, on the PS5, on the Switch. I know they're redoing 2, but you know what? It'd just be nice if they actually reported the first game. I will aim to take down the Butcher at least in this stream, so I'll aim to get our full team. Done the first floor. Probably should do floor 2 and 3, so we should get the Butcher. Will clear the Poison Well one as well, unless I get taken out. I'll be very careful not to be. To fix... Wow, that's quite a vicious bug actually. So let's see what...
Hello, my
Identify an item.
Stay a while and listen.
Identify Falcon. Ooh, plus 10 to dexterity. That's really good. Oh yes, so that means I'll do 4 damage minimum and 7 damage max. Oh, that's a really nice bow.
I can't.
To add 2 points to required durability. Let's just put that in. Okay, that's really going to help me. That's what I call a lucky find, everyone. That's a really good weapon. That Falcon is plus 10 to defense as well, so that's actually plus 10 to dexterity, so I can sell all of this. I'll keep that one close combat weapon, 4 to 8. That's, yeah, so that's some good stuff, yes. Possibly. Sometimes they didn't. I'll be honest. Developers were quite bad for not checking games on earlier hardware revisions. Normally, sometimes, so they may have had a bug. Requires 25 magic. What's my magic at the minute? My magic's only 18, isn't it? Just go. Oh, I didn't want to do that. So level 4 gold. So I'm good. Right, I might as well steal that staff because I'll get more and. So that dex. Yeah, there are a few. I'm aware of quite a few PS2 games that have hardware revisions that don't work with newer. There are some games that are completely balked on the PS2 with the older ones. And some that were like balked, as you say, on the newer revisions because there's so many. So that, I'll sell that. I'm going to repair everything. So I'll repair the skull cap, yes. Repair the huntress bow, yes, that's an expensive repair. Repair this item, yes. Oh, that's right, I need to steal the staff to plus 10 dexterity. I won't actually wait. I won't repair that one just yet. But that bow is really going to help me because that gives me a massive advantage. That means I've gone up to do a minimum 4 damage. So this is what I mean by the luck. You can have absolutely horrible luck. Staff of charge, box charges, damage 2 to 4. Yeah, by the time I will actually be able to use that, that will not be that reliable. So yeah, Oswald handles the equipment, and Ariana handles all the sort of magical stuff. So let's brave back in. Actually, before I brave, I'm just going to nip downstairs and quickly grab a drink, and then I'll be back. Or just a fresh glass of water. Okay, I'm back. Right, so I've got my new bow, and we will brave on further into the deep. The Church of Tristram. Woo ha ha ha. Just wondering if I should slightly turn up the brightness for you guys in case it's a little dark. So there's too bright there. Probably about there. Probably just gives you a bit brighter. You can tell when the black of the brightness doesn't quite match the black of the rest of the screen, the non-screen areas. That's when you know you've got it too bright. We brave the deep. Yes, actually quite normally, so I've actually got quite lucky. As I said, the exits are really close to the thing, so I can travel back up quickly. Often you'll have to go through huge spawning sections. You don't normally get this lucky actually with the layout. I'll probably find normally I've had ones where like every exit's miles to the other side of the next one, so. Cloak coming up, so I'll make sure I grab that. Again, as I mentioned, okay, so this is to a dark passage. That's to the water shrine quest. Let me just. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Inventory. So armor +5, my quilted armor's better. Yeah, I've heard some old revisions. Sometimes, I mean, there's a problem where old revisions of the PS2, the CD laser fails. Strangely, the CD on my old PS2 is practically packed up. And then I didn't touch it for yonks, and now it's working again perfectly, which is just really weird. So here we go with the... Okay, so this bow, as you see there, because it's got much higher minimum damage, this is slaughtering them. So the poison water will be cured. So if you actually get this quest, you get quite a large subsection where you do this, so you can get quite a lot of additional XP. As I mentioned, depending on the route, depends what quests you get and what bonuses you get. So it is actually, you can really affect your game, whether you get an additional level up or two. Okay, I think that goat guy might have been the one poisoning the water. I think I just need to get to the actual... No, I think there's actually a spring coming up. I just need to... I need to clear all the enemies out of this section to stop it. I'll just bring the music down a little bit, as that was a bit high. Okay, so I've got to clear out all the enemies and then I can get the loot. So yeah, he's going down well quickly. So yeah, I've already got another level up. It's R2 and X, so let's put one in strength. Okay, I've doubled up vitality. Put one in vitality, put another one in strength. I won't put one in magic this turn. I think I might put 2 next time around. Let's keep battling out. And I will just say, I appreciate the likes from everyone. That is very much appreciated. Thanks. Glad to see you're all enjoying Diablo. This iconic game. Thank you very much for all your likes. Ooh, don't want to get taken out by that little fella. So you'll notice the water in the background here is actually poisoned. So I just want to clear out the last of the enemies. So yeah, it's all the yellow water. And once we've dealt with the last couple of enemies, that should then... There we go, it's all turning blue again. So that's all the enemies taken care of, and that is the water supply restored. So I'll keep venturing on at the minute until I need to head back to the surface. I don't think I'll head to Pippin to heal. I'll just keep an eye on my health at the minute. I've got a few potions if I need to. The butcher won't be on this floor, so I don't think there's too much I need to worry about. Can just clear it out, and the bow I've got is going to really help me. So this should be straightforward clearing out this floor at present. Right, so this room that has all sorts of debauchery, I'm not going into just yet because that is where the butcher's lair. So I want to clear this floor before I go after the butcher, get all the XP, and then make sure I'm at full health. You will find you get a lot of very good equipment very quickly in this, so and already once I've cleared this section, I'm gonna have to come back and re-grab everything I'm leaving behind at the minute. But yeah, I'm not gonna rush to the butcher just yet.
Now where would I put this? I have no room. I can't carry any more. Now where would I put this? Now where would I put this? Now where would I put this? I can't carry any more. I have no room.
Yeah, you could definitely see the frame rate dropping down like a bit of a stone there when I had the auto map on, so I'm just actually going to head back to the town again and sell all my loot. Inventory management, I said, is definitely part of Diablo, and you will end up, literally, there are quite a few items you just stash on the floor because you're like, yeah, I've got too much stuff and I need to keep some of this. So, and we've got the butcher's room, so I will be back to face him once I've cleared the floor out. We have a bit of inventory management. I could also go back and speak to the townsfolk, and I'll see. I don't think they reward you for doing the quest, but I'll just see. So, seeing as I've already done we've resolved the poison well issue. Appreciate the likes, everyone. Very much thank you for everyone liking this stream. It is very much appreciated here at Randomised Gaming. Let's see what the villagers have to say about the poison quest and what I can say. Yeah, so the water's back to normal, as you can see.
What's that you say? The mere presence of the demons has caused the water to become tainted? Oh, truly a great evil lurks beneath our town. But your perseverance and courage gives us hope. Please, take this ring. Perhaps it will aid you in the destruction of such vile creatures.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen. Ogden has owned and run the Rising Sun Inn and Tavern for almost 4 years now. He purchased it just a few short months before everything here went to hell. He and his wife, Garda, do not have the money to leave, as they invested all they had in making a life for themselves here. He is a good man with a deep sense of responsibility. Ogden had...
can't cast that here.
So you can see that's quite a nice ring. It gives me plus 10 hit points, minus 1 damage from all enemies, and it resists all plus 10%. It's actually quite a nice one to get, just seeing as I'm going to be facing off against the Butcher very shortly. So in fact, if I take it off, yeah, so you see there, life goes up, fire, lightning, and everything goes.
What ails you, my friend?
Can't remember if just talking to Pippin heals you.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
Sell items. Falconer skill. So I want to keep the dexterity. Morning Star Vitality. Do I want the morning? So plus 10 to Vitality, 4 to 8 damage. Probably that the bare, because that's got 4 minimum and 8. Your average is probably going to be better than the dexterity. So yeah, I'll sell the Morning Star Vitality. I'll sell the robes. I'll sell the claymore. And I'll sell the rags. I'll just repair my current equipment.
Greetings, good master. Welcome to the tab. If you want to know more about the history of our village, the storyteller Kane knows quite a bit about the past.
Whoa, what can I do for you? Your weapons and armor will show the signs of your struggles against the darkness. If you bring them to me, with a bit of work and a hot forge, I can restore them to top fighting form.
Can't a fellow drink in peace? Why don't that old crone do something for a change? Sure, she's got stuff. But you listen to me. She's unnatural. I ain't never seen her eat or drink, and you can't trust somebody who doesn't drink at least a little.
What ails you, my friend? I have made a very interesting discovery. Unlike us, the creatures in the labyrinth can heal themselves without the aid of potions or magic. If you hurt one of the monsters, make sure it is dead, or it very well may regenerate itself.
Good day. How may I serve you? My grandmother had a dream that you would come and talk to me. She has visions, you know, and can see into the future.
I sense a soul in search of answers. A chest opened in darkness holds no greater treasure than when it is opened in the light. The storyteller Cain is an enigma, but only to those who do not look. His knowledge of what lies beneath the cathedral is far greater than even he allows himself to realize.
Okay, so I'm gonna stock up. It's pretty much stocked up on everything I've got at the minute. I might just got healing potions and everything set up. So because we're going to need them when we confront the butcher. There are some better bows down here as well, so I'm going to be careful. I'll just explore the rest of the floor and see what I can grab. The butcher, so certain enemies and quests reward you with preset items, so the butcher will reward me with his meat cleaver as a weapon, although it's not actually that good, I seem to recall. It was like one of those weapons that you get and it's like it's one of those things you think, yeah, it's nice to have if you were like a warrior class. If you were the warrior class, or if you were some sort of like barbarian class, but as you don't get it, I think to recall it not being that good a weapon to actually use, so you tended to sort of stay away from the meat cleavers. Basically, it's like one of those items you keep just as prosperity because it is a unique drop. Okay, let's get all the loot I left behind. But yeah, there is quite a bit of wandering around, picking up items in Diablo, so there is a lot of inventory management. It's not a straightforward action game. There's a lot of boring bits where you're just wandering around going, yeah, what did I leave behind? What haven't I picked up? And a lot of chests don't always reward you everything. You do get a lot of daft chests as well. I'm not sure. The PC version does keep everything behind. I'm not sure this PS1 version does. There was another blue huntress bow, as I recall, so I'm going to try and find that one. There's the other huntress bow, okay. Let's go looking for what else there is around. Still got some sections The frame rate does suffer a little bit when you put that map on, but not too badly. No matter, I probably found I explored literally the whole floor before I went back up. And yes, that was the case, actually. Okay, nope, got still that room there. Yeah, do keep an eye out for those doors. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, this bow is really making it easy. This bow is really, really good. Okay, shall we face the butcher? End his fiendish reign. I've got to be careful he doesn't make me the next thing on the menu. Actually, how close am I to next level? Okay, so I just read those spellbooks. That's why you kind of want to have Hunter Spray 2. So that means I've got a healing spell now. So there is a good reason to actually have a healing. Don't discount magic even if you're a non-magic type. Just relying on potions is not necessarily a good idea. So let's be brave. Should I try Fireball? Actually no, probably healing because...
Fresh meat.
And this is why you don't want to go in with this guy with a level 1 character.
not enough mana.
Oh! Should have healed a bit more. Look, I came across against the butcher. Oh well, that's probably a good place to end the stream then. We failed in our quest. I will have to rematch against the butcher in another stream at some point. I'm actually going to finish now because I do need to do a few other things tonight, so I want to wrap up. Now that's annoying. I don't think it lets me game over. Yeah, I pressed this magic spell button. I don't know if it used the... Should it use the heal? Oh, I probably didn't. I need to be... Oh, well. But that is Diablo on the PS1. I think the stream's kind of finishing now. Anyway, I've got a lot less people on than earlier. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for liking the stream. Very much appreciated. Yeah, I was slightly annoyed that I should have taken the butcher. I should have probably slightly healed back. Or had a few more healing potions, but as you see there, he's quite a formidable opponent. Probably should have bought some slightly better armour, but never mind. But it is an iconic game, and I do highly recommend it. And that is Diablo. So I'm going to wish you a good night, a good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you all for watching. I've been your Random Gamer host, Random Gamer Riven, on this live stream of the original Diablo. I should say this PS1 version was released in 1998. It was developed by Climax, and it was published by Electronic Arts under license from Blizzard. Hence why you haven't seen this version in the collections. It's actually a very good port, but I doubt you'll see it on any of the collections, because I know the Blizzard and they could do this on the Blizzard Arcade collection, but they won't do, sadly, because EA, I assume, have some license to the rights, as probably do Climax. So I expect this is one version of Diablo that Blizzard don't own the full rights to. But thank you all for watching. It's very much appreciated to everyone hitting the like button on the stream. As always, if you enjoy our content here at Randomised Gaming, please do consider hitting that like button. Very much appreciative. That's it from me. I'll be back Thursday streaming I'll do another PlayStation game. But thank you all, as always, for watching, and I'll see you all Thursday.